has he explained exactly what he doesn't like about DS9?
No, but I get it. So, Alana, Jaylo, I was just telling you
Yes.
that a friend of mine
Yes.
who is a fan of Star Trek texted me this morning.
Yes.
Because I've been raving to him about Deep Space Nine. Yeah. And has told me that he has made it through the first 3 painful episodes.
Oh, it's so good. He hasn't even gotten to the good parts yet.
I told him that I would be willing to recommend random episodes that he could watch.
It's so good. I mean, there's so many, though.
But it does start off slow in this first season.
It does start off slow, but he'll really enjoy it if he continues on, I think.
He's one of those people, babes, who likes to watch shows from the very beginning to the end.
Oh, I get it. I do that too sometimes, yes.
Depending on the show, I will do it.
Depending on the show, if it gets better and better and better, I will watch it until the very end.
But DS9, he's not liking, even though he loves The Next Generation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We watched an episode of DS9 last night.
Oh, yes.
Called Blaze of Glory, I think.
Blaze of Glory. Yes.
Do you want to get into it, babes? I
think you'd be better at that.
Okay.
There's so many things in that episode that I kind of couldn't really keep up with.
So, Michael Eddington, who used to serve as an officer under Sisko.
The famous Eddington.
Yes. Later betrayed the Federation and was arrested in an episode I love called For the Uniform.
Yes.
Amazing episode. But this is not that. It's pretty good, but it's not at that level.
And I remember we watched it, right?
For the Uniform?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that when he was making Eddington feel like he was the hero?
By killing all life on one planet.
But he really wasn't. Yeah.
No, but Sisko actually did kill hundreds of thousands of people.
I know. I know, but I still like Sisko.
There's a good argument to be made that Sisko is a war criminal. Even though he's one of my favorite characters in all of Star Trek, I see the argument there.
Okay.
What do you think?
I don't think he is, but I can understand why people would think he is.
Well, I mean, there's that. There's when he had the Romulan ambassador killed to get them into the war.
Yes, he was going to do anything it took to protect the Federation.
Like, if Sisko was a real person, I'd probably be one of the detractors saying that he should be arrested for
if he
war
was
crimes.
real. If he was real, but since he isn't real, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
And say, because he is just a fictional character, I would excuse it.
Very good, yeah. Well,
is that fair to say?
It's, in a way, yes, because...
If he was real, for sure he should be arrested.
Right. But should we like Sisko? Or should we just excuse his actions?
I like him. I like him as... I think, honestly... I know that there may be some controversial things that he's done, but for the most part, I think he really does want to do the right thing.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I just said, he's one of my favorite characters.
I think he's had several conflicts.
But I don't know if I can excuse all of his actions.
I don't know. I mean, you know more about Sisko than I do, though.
Yes.
I don't know half of what you know.
That's true.
I mean, my goodness, you had lunch together, like how many times was that? Since last year? No, I'm kidding.
With me and Avery Brooks?
No, I'm just kidding.
I haven't met myself. But whenever I meet with him, I always say, Avery, we're not breaking characters. You're Sisko this time. Bring the uniform. You know what I like.
I talk as if you actually know Sisko. No,
I've never met Avery Brooks.
I'd imagine he's a really good, he's a really fun person, but...
I don't know. He seems kind of intense on interviews.
Intense?
Yeah, so... You haven't watched What We Left Behind, which is the documentary on Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Uh-huh.
And I have mixed feelings about it. All the rest of the cast are interviewed like throughout the documentary. And I think they have like maybe 1 or 2 clips of him being interviewed. Like he seems a little bit distant from that world. Oh. Okay. Which is fine, but
maybe it's because he knows... You know, he knows how to compartmentalize the show and his own personal life.
I don't know if I'd want to meet him in real life. I have a feeling I'd say something really stupid.
Oh.
Like, how's Nog?
Eric Eisenberg, unfortunately, is no longer with us.
Yeah, but how's the character doing?
How's
Is he commanding his own starship?
All right.
All right, Jaylo. Enough playing away on
Anyway, but the point being is that we both think that Deep Space Nine is a great show, and
Absolutely.
I don't know why I didn't give it a chance when I was. And I'm not a Trekkie either, so that would make more sense that I didn't.
But I mean, it's a different show, but it's even different. It's not just a different show for regular TV. It's a different show in the world of Star Trek. I think. Mm-hmm. Which is why it's hard for people to really get into it. I'm hoping my friend asks me to select some episodes for him to watch.
Why don't you just recommend it?
Because he's one of those, again, he just wants to watch the show from beginning to end.
Okay. Well, I will say that if I do like a good show, I will watch it from beginning to end and I won't skip any episodes.
Right. But we'll see what happens with that.
Okay.
Last night, though.
Yes.
I showed you In the Blaze of Glory.
Or Blaze of Glory, whichever.
Blaze of Glory. All right, so it's about Eddington. So it starts off, Jake and Nog are having dinner with Captain Sisko, and Jake eats some tube worms.
Tube grubs or whatever.
Tube grubs, yes.
And he's like, well, if Nog is willing to eat squid, then we should be willing to eat tube grubs because that's what Ferengis eat. Yes. I'm sure they probably weren't grubs. They're probably like spaghetti or something.
Yeah. But, they play
it's something that humans would eat.
Sure. And Martok comes in. Well, before that happens, this comes up later in the show. Nog is having some trouble with the Klingons on the station. Sisko tells him, listen, bro, you got to stand up to them if they try to step to you wrong. And they'll respect you.
Yep.
Martok comes in and says, I need a minute alone with the captain. Nog almost intervenes, but Sisko grabs his shoulders like, not now, dude. So Jake and Nog leave. Martok gives a recording from this lady saying, hey, Michael, just so you know, we've launched the missiles towards Cardassia. And they're going to go off in I can't remember, 3 days. Cardassia and the Federation are on bad terms because of the involvement of the Dominion. And Sisko knows if these weapons hit Cardassia, it's going to cause more trouble than it's worth. So he goes to see Eddington, who's kind of sitting in his cell and is acting like he doesn't want to cooperate at first. Mm-hmm. Sisko eventually gets the Federation to release Eddington into his custody. They're taking a shuttlecraft to the launch site. We should also say that these missiles are cloaked. Mm-hmm. So you can't really spot them with sensors. So I love the interaction with them when they're on the shuttlecraft. They're going back and forth and back and forth. And finally, some Dominion ships start following them into the Badlands, which is this area of space where there's tons of interference from asteroids and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Sisko has to do some emergency work on the engines. He does it. They land on the planets. Mm-hmm. There's a fight out with some Jem'Hadar.
Uh-huh. Yep.
They eventually get past the guards. Eddington sees that a lot of his friends who were members of the Maquis are now dead.
Yeah, the Maquis is the enemy of Starfleet.
They're one of the enemies. It composed of a lot of former members of Starfleet. I think of them as space pirates in a way.
Space pirates.
Even though
Are they just like what the Dominion is?
No, it's a little bit more complicated. They're kind of defending land that was lost in this treaty with Cardassia.
Okay.
But in any event, some of them are still alive. And we find out that the lady who sent the message to Starfleet is actually Michael Eddington's wife.
Yes.
And this was all a ruse to get a ship. I love when Eddington looks at Sisko and he's like, well, you should be happy. Those weapons you were concerned about aren't going to hit Cardassia.
Yeah.
But they have to run because there's more Jem'Hadar soldiers there.
Yes.
There's this fight, a phaser fight, and Eddington tells Sisko, go off without me. Mm-hmm. Sisko leaves. only get some of the Maquis out, including Eddington's wife. And that's sort of the A plot. So getting back to the B plot with Nog, and I know I'm kind of rushing this along.
That's okay.
Nog wants to have a confrontation with Klingons to show that he's the alpha male. Mm-hmm. There's a scene where Martok and some of his men are headbutting each other down at Quark's. Mm-hmm. Jake and Nog are at a table, and since Nog has the lobes and the ears, he's listening to the decibel levels, and he's like, 5 more decibels and I'll be able to make an arrest.
Yes, yes.
And he finally goes above that threshold, but he's leaning back in his chair and he falls over.
He falls backwards and they're all laughing at him.
Yes.
Including Martok.
Exactly.
He feels like a fool.
But later on in the episode, Nog sees Martok and some of his men just loitering on the promenade.
Yep.
He goes up to them and he's like, listen, y'all have to leave here. Nog says, get out of our way, Ferengi. This doesn't concern you.
Martok.
Yes, that's right.
Not Nog.
Yeah, Martok. Didn't I say that?
You said Nog says, and I'm like, no, Nog's a Ferengi.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my God.
I don't know what I'm doing today, babes.
I don't know either.
Yes, I'm shot out of a cannon.
You did the same thing yesterday.
Uh-oh. Must have been all the walkway I had with you.
Hey.
Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to that after the assessment. In any event, Martok tells Nog it's none of his concern. Nog starts quoting regulation. Martok laughs and says, don't push your luck. But then he moves along.
Yes.
And then there's a scene where Nog finds a hairpin of Major Kira's. Mm-hmm. And Martok then gets off the elevator and he's like, cadets? And Nog's like, General? And Kira's like, what was that about? And he was like, it's a respect thing. That's basically the episode.
Yeah, it was good.
Is there anything I missed that you wanted to talk about?
Oh yeah, Eddington dies.
I thought I said that. Maybe I didn't.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
You said that they got everybody out, including his wife, but he didn't make it.
There's a great discussion they have about replicated food.
Yeah.
About this might look like chicken, but once you have the real thing, it doesn't taste like it.
Yeah, it tastes like replicated molecules to me.
Yeah. What did you think of that whole exchange?
I thought that was kind of funny. I don't know what a replicator is, and I don't know if I want to have replicator food, but I guess you can tell imitation chicken from real chicken. You just know it.
Do you think that speaks to our culture now, like the organic movement of food versus like McDonald's?
Of course it does.
Okay.
Because I've had places. I've gone to places where the meat was advertised to be grass fed by farmers. For example, like let's say it was okay if I talk about this certain burger place that we like.
Burgerville?
Yes.
Yes.
Burgerville is known to have really good quality beef for their burgers, and they have things that come from farmers, like the milk for their milkshakes and things of that sort. And I could tell that I could just taste the difference versus packaged processed stuff.
Do you know what Tuesday is, babe?
What is... Wait. Yeah, no, I don't.
It is the 1-year anniversary of our last trip to Burgerville.
Oh, that's right. We haven't been back there since then. That is correct.
That's how much we love it. No, but we are in a pandemic, so.
Well, I loved Burgerville even before I met you, Bubs.
I loved it way before I met you.
But I didn't go there as much.
Oh,
but I love Burgerville.
Yeah, but it is sort of a commentary on organic or fresh ingredients versus... And
there are places like Five Guys. You ever heard of Five Guys?
I've never been there, but I am aware of it.
Their meat is really good too.
Oh.
And you can just tell. You really can. You can tell, just like you can tell organic milk from pasteurized milk. Homogenized milk.
I don't know that I've ever had organic milk.
Yeah, sometimes I'll buy from the store. Sometimes I'll buy like I drink 2% milk, like if I'm putting it in my cereal or something. And I'll buy something from like Organic Valley. The first time I tried it, I was like, ooh, this is really good stuff. And Simple Truth is another company that has all kinds of stuff like milk and
I've gotten a lot of their products before.
yeah, I like Simple Truth stuff.
Yeah.
And they last a long time.
I haven't gotten their milk though.
No, their milk is pretty good. You just know that stuff. You can tell the real thing from a counterfeit. That's how I see it.
What do you think Cisco was thinking during this exchange? Because he hates Eddington, but I think he knows the truth about what he's saying about the food.
I don't know. What do you think he's thinking about?
I think he's basically thinking to himself that, oh, this guy's just trying to distract me by talking about something that we clearly would agree on.
You could be right about that.
You know.
You could be right about that, yeah. I mean, why would he have a conversation about replicated food?
Well, yeah, that's the only reason I could think of that at any time.
I think I would probably say, yeah, you probably might be right about that.
Now that you know the character arc of Michael Eddington,
yeah,
what do you think about him?
Yeah, I think he's what's the word I'm looking for?
Slimeball.
I think he's slimy. I think he's a pretty slimy guy. Works for Starfleet for a while. Completely becomes a traitor. Becomes a member of the Maquis. Yeah, I think he's a slimeball. A whole bucket of it.
What do you think of Cisco and Dax talking about him at the end? Like, now he's redeemed.
I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on that one. How about you?
I think that Cisco has lost so much over the years that he values somebody who's willing to sacrifice their own life.
Right.
Like Eddington was for his people.
Right.
And so he doesn't like him, but he can respect him.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Yes. But up until his death,
yeah,
he hates Eddington.
Right.
There's a great line when they're heading to the launch site. Mm-hmm. And Eddington says, I'll help you stop those missiles. But after that, you and I are going to go at it.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind when you heard that?
That he was just going to... I was wondering, like, why is Cisco asking... Wait, was it Cisco who asked him to help, or did he offer to do it?
Cisco kind of forced him into it.
Okay. I was wondering why he was asking him to help, because I wasn't sure if he was going to do it.
Okay.
That's what I thought, because of how slimy he is, and
yes,
he's only in it for himself. So
yes,
I didn't understand why Cisco would want him to help with this.
Overall, what did you think of this episode? Did you like it? Did you hate it?
I didn't hate it. I did not hate the episode. I liked it.
Okay.
It was a little bit hard to keep up with.
Uh-oh.
Because of the whole Cisco Eddington thing and the complications with their relationship.
See, to me, this is one of the easier episodes to follow.
Really?
Which I think is why my synopsis was so short, is because if you have watched the show to this point, you already know the relationship between Cisco and Eddington.
Yeah, but I think you know more of it than I do, Bub.
I think you've seen most of the Eddington episodes.
I have. He's a slime bucket.
Yes.
Slime bucket.
Oh my goodness.
And he kicked the bucket.
And you were happy. You were cheering when he died.
I didn't cheer.
You were like, yes, okay, finally. I was waiting for this. I was waiting for this.
I wasn't, happy.
Finally a good payoff.
Well, I wasn't necessarily, cheering with glee, but...
You're saying I may have exaggerated.
Yes, you exaggerate a lot.
Okay.
As you do sometimes, yes.
Yeah, well. So we watched this. Mm-hmm. Then I played for you the first hour of the Ken Burns country music documentary.
I did, and I have to admit...
Did you just say I did?
I mean, you did, yes.
Go ahead.
I did watch it, and I meant to say I did watch it with you, but there were parts of it that I was kind of dozing off. And it was only because I was a little tired yesterday.
Oh.
But what I did hear, like especially the Carter family, and I know Dolly Parton was interviewed too, and the Carter family. The Carter family is really interesting. And what was the other guy that I was thinking about?
Were you thinking about how they made the instruments and brought them to this country?
Yes. Like the steel guitar. That was interesting. A lot that is used in country music, and it's also used in Hawaiian music. The two musics that I can think of. It's fascinating, bud.
So you like this episode?
I did.
After this experience, we took a 2-minute break, and I made us teriyaki chicken for dinner.
Yeah, you made the...
I made dinner for us.
That was, that was a very embarrassing experience for me.
Okay, so...
And this of course, happened after we had our meeting the other, in the morning, so...
I don't know what that has to do with the food.
Well, no, it has nothing to do with the food, but I'm just kind of keeping people up to speed here.
Okay. Very good, Jaylo. Okay. You come out.
Yeah.
We'd had our break. You bring your dot out, and you start playing Weird Al.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt to me like you were more interested in the music than you were in paying attention to the rice and broccoli you were cooking.
I don't know if that's exactly true.
So, tell it from your standpoint.
Okay. Well, so I was hoping that nothing was going to happen to this rice, because I knew what happened last time to the other rice that I made the other week. So I prepare the water and the rice. I wash it. This happens. Wait, did I do this before? I think I did it before the broccoli. Or was it after? Well, it doesn't matter.
What had happened was, I told you, hey, maybe you should just do a quick cook of the broccoli. Don't cook it all the way through.
And I did that.
And then we put it in a bowl, put it aside.
And then I started to get the rice ready.
Yes, as I'm chopping the chicken.
So I started to get the rice ready.
Not choking it. Keep going.
Okay, you know what?
Oh, you know what?
You know what?
Armpit time?
No.
Armpit time. Okay. Okay, so let's focus on this.
Hey, let me have my fun just a little.
Okay. All right, babe. Hey. My mom gonna be bored to your boy soon, babe.
Okay.
I don't have to take this when I'm bored to your boy. All right.
Yes, I know. You'll be birthday boy in 5 days.
Yes, keep going, babe.
Anyway, I cook the broccoli, we put it aside. I prepare the water and the rice. I wash the rice, drain it, and then I start to get it ready to put on the stovetop. One of the things that happened is the setting wasn't correct. I thought I put it on high.
You put it on very low.
Yeah. The setting was incorrect, so I put it on what I thought was high. So that was another thing. And then I mix it in. I start kind of checking it out. It's still kind of hard and crunchy and gross. So I do that, and then you add the broccoli in there.
Well, you told me, okay, I think it's about time to add the broccoli because the rice is pretty much done.
And it felt like it was starting to, when I was mixing it, it felt like there was some of it was sticking to the bottom. And in fact it was. So you put the broccoli in there and you're wondering, is it done yet? And I'm tasting, I'm like, why is this, at the moment I thought it was okay. You taste it and you're like, no, this is not.
Oh, it's nowhere near okay.
It was not crunchy. It was still crunchy, still hard. And I'm like, okay, let's do this again. And so what I think I should have done is I should have taken it and put some extra water in there, which I didn't even think about doing. And so I It's already starting to get hot.
And the chicken is getting cold.
And the chicken's getting cold, so you're like, oh, I think I should just cook the chicken again. So, and I tasted it, I'm like, this is not good. It smells like it's burning. I don't think we should eat this. And so I have to dump the whole thing out, and I'm pretty much embarrassed for the rest for most of the evening. Maybe not most of it. A good portion of it. But the chicken turned out good. We didn't make a whole lot of chicken. Or actually, you didn't make a whole lot of chicken.
Because I was expecting to have broccoli and rice with it.
Yes, I know.
Yes. Okay, so let's break this down even further. A couple of things. I think we should label that one burner, babe, because that's not labeled. The one that you were using.
I know, but, okay.
What's your thought on that?
Well, I have to show you that because I don't know that I need to do that. Because doesn't that burner have an arrow?
I don't think it's
the knob.
I don't think it's tactile though.
Because if it's turned sideways towards the right?
Yeah.
Then that should be now. You know why I think I was thrown off because I would usually use the second burner. I don't use that burner very often.
Right.
And I use that burner, but I don't put it on high very often.
But see, that's why I think it needs to be labeled.
Maybe.
Because if you're cooking it on low and it's rice and it needs to be boiling,
okay,
you're not going to be able to get it boiling. So, are there any other takeaways that you have from the situation?
A little more water than usual. Maybe for 2 cups of rice in a pot, maybe I'll put 4.5 cups of rice just to be safe.
I always do 4 cups and I'm fine.
I know. But for some reason, and I'm not the only, and I remember I made that point that I'm not the only person that has had problems with this rice.
You said that your relative has. So is this just like regular brown rice, or is this like non-cooked brown rice that is designed to like always be hard and never be cooked?
No, it's supposed to be, I could even show you the bag, because I bought it before.
Yeah. So what was your relative's problem with the rice?
She thought it was because she cooked it earlier. But what I told you was, maybe before you go,
yes,
you can witness me cooking the rice, and I'm going to add some things to it, like butter, salt, and pepper, just simple, and make sure I add a little bit of water, a little bit more water than I usually would add, because I talked to her about this, and when I was trying to cook rice in the same cooker, she said the only reason why it's hard is that you didn't put enough water in it. So that's the only thing I can come up with at the moment.
Oh.
And I also said that we should do that again next week. And you said that if the rice goes well today in the cooker, that you would let me cook it.
Well, yeah. So far, the rice cooker seems like a waste of time to me.
Yeah,
but.
Your opinion only.
But we made full hour.
Yeah, but I know exactly what happened.
Okay.
I know exactly what happened.
So I'll have some of this rice today too, dear boys. So I know it's good.
Yeah, you might be able to have some.
Well, I might be able to. You watch it and you make sure I do it right, and then I'm going to eat it.
No. I'll give you some rice.
I'll give me some, and give me a kiss. Babes, no.
I'm just kidding. Come here.
So you do believe still that the rice cooker is the way to go?
Yes, I do.
Okay, babes, I don't know.
Yes, I do.
But we'll give it a shot.
Yes.
Yes.
And you don't have to worry about anything boiling and falling on your floor.
All right. Well, yeah, because it's not my floor.
No, it's my floor.
I just hope we don't make full hour rice today. Which takes 4 hours.
No.
Like last weekend?
No.
All right. And you feel good about it. I really do think that you should label that burner, though.
You do, huh?
Yes. Because, again, last night it was almost off, and you were saying that it was on high.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, okay, okay, maybe you're right because I do have one on the second burner on the right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good indication that I know where medium is.
Yes,
and where everything and where high is okay.
Yes, it was. So we had a small dinner last night.
Very small. A lot of chocolate.
Yes, we're gonna try on Wednesday to redo the
chicken.
Yes, and hopefully have some rice and
broccoli.
Yes, with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
But we'll see what happens with that.
Yes.
Yes. Alana.
Yes.
We watched 2 movies.
Do we want to talk about that first, or do we want to talk about the other thing that we did? I guess we don't have to.
What was the other thing we did?
No, never mind. I'll let's go on to the movie.
No, what was the other thing? I forgot.
Oh, about what happened, what the experimental episode we did?
Oh, yeah, but this will be out after that one.
This will be out.
We did a Bible study. And you had brought up the idea of doing another one today. And I kind of pushed that off, but how are you feeling about that? Is that still something you would want to pursue, or?
No. I think maybe, possibly, I'd like to do it, either the day before Christmas or the day of Christmas.
Christmas is my birthday, so I think that would be a bad time to do it. But we could do it maybe the day before Christmas.
Yeah, and I wanted to do that because there's only, I only have to read 16 more verses, not, of the first chapter, and then a few more verses of the second chapter.
How do you feel about my beautiful questions yesterday?
Some of them were actually legitimate questions, but I also, there's some things that I just could not explain. Because I don't know much. There are some people that are in this passage that I don't know much about, and they're either mentioned only once or they're mentioned more than once, but they don't give there's no history of their family background. Well, of course, I would think that if I was a theologian, I'd probably know more about that, but I'm not.
After we make rice today,
yes,
I will be heading home.
Yes,
for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
In that time, are you going to do further research into the verses that you want to read me? Oh. Just so you're a little bit more prepared with.
I will go through it. Yeah, I think I will go through it. In fact, I think I might go through some of them tomorrow.
Oh, okay, Jaylo.
Yes.
But overall, you feel good about what we did yesterday?
I did. It was a little. It was I wasn't sure. I thought it was going to be it was touch and go for a minute, but I think we're off to a good start.
What I like, babe, is it is what a Bible study, how you would think one with you and me would sound like.
It definitely does.
Because I'm asking questions, I'm also trying to be funny, but also relevant to you and your beliefs. Mm-hmm. And I think people who listen to it and know us both will understand it. And it's not going to come across as fake.
No, it's definitely going to come across as how we really are, yes. Which I think is good. It's not, the one thing I don't want to happen is I don't want to make it sound like it was scripted. Yeah, it definitely wasn't scripted.
You don't want it to sound like I'm just and now I see the light and I can't wait. I
want it to come naturally, whether something has been revealed to you and you haven't thought of it before, or you got something out of it that you didn't get out of it the first time. And every time I read it, it's never boring because you always glean from it, I think.
And let's be honest, you feel that way. I'm probably never going to become a Christian, but
never say never.
It's
never say never.
I said
never say
never. It's still as a thought exercise.
You never know. Stranger things have happened.
I doubt I'll ever become a Christian. There's just
and I don't think you should announce it publicly because you just don't know about that.
Then I'll go back on my word. There's just too many leaps of faith for me, but
you never know.
It's fun to kind of discuss, and And I imagine people who are atheist or agnostic would appreciate my take on it.
Even the most coldest atheists have had their hearts changed, so you just never know that.
Well, I reject the idea that all atheists have cold hearts.
Well, not all. I'm not saying all atheists do, but some do.
You never know, babes. You might become a Buddhist.
I doubt that.
And I doubt I'll become a Christian.
You never know. You never know. You never know, because it to me, I'm assuming that you're still searching.
Yes, but
you're very lost, but you're still searching.
Listen, I wouldn't say I'm lost. I would say I'm a person with an open mind.
Spiritually lost.
No, I wouldn't see that.
Yeah.
God created me and the situations that I'm in. You know, the background and everything. So I think I believe the way God wants me to believe based on my environment.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
How do you know that God wants you to believe that way if you haven't studied it?
This is my leap of faith, babe. And you take a leap of faith when you study the Bible, don't you?
Yes, and that's why we are going to take I am going to lead you on this journey so that you know more about why I believe what I believe. And like I said, you might get something out of it that you never thought you would have.
Maybe it won't.
Yes, you would. Anyway, but no, like I said, I don't want it to be scripted. I'm glad it isn't scripted, and I hope that whoever listens to it that knows who we are, can appreciate that it isn't scripted.
Yeah, like Christianity is very low on the list of things I see likely of me believing in.
You never know.
Honestly, I think if I were to go to religion,
I think we're getting off topic here.
It'd be more like Buddhism.
I think we're getting off topic here.
Okay, but we will be doing more of those, babes.
Yes.
Yes.
Himalaya. Okay.
Armpit time? Armpit time? Armpit time?
No. Movie time.
Okay. Jaylo?
Yes.
Last night, we watched The Man Who Knew Too Much and The Birds.
Oh my goodness, The Man Who Knew Too Much was so good.
Do you want me to give the overview, or do you want to do it?
Why don't I start off at the beginning, and then you can chime. You can go. You can move on from that.
Talk about it.
Talk about it. Okay. So there's a doctor and his wife, and their son. Mr. and Mrs. McKenna. So that's Jimmy Stewart and Doris Day.
Doris Days. All right, we'll get there in a minute. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Did I hurt you?
No.
Okay. So they play parents to a little boy named Hank, and they are on their way to Marrakesh on the bus. So Marrakesh, I believe, is located somewhere in Morocco. And Mrs. McKenna is wearing some kind of a veil, I guess. Because it's like a Muslim country.
May I interject?
Yes.
My dear, she is not wearing a veil.
She's not wearing a veil. No. What was she wearing then?
Just regular clothes.
Yeah, but remember when that guy got upset because she took something off of her head?
Not off of her head. What happened was, can I tell this part of it? Hank goes to the front of the bus. The driver looks like he slams on the brake quickly. Mm-hmm. Hank grabs the veil off of this one lady.
Oh, I see.
Yes, who's a Muslim, and her husband is with her, and he gets a little bit upset.
Yeah, he gets upset, and then he's talking to this guy, and Louis Bernard. This is where they met Louis Bernard, correct?
Correct.
And Louis Bernard says basically, "Oh, calm down, everything's fine." I don't know what he says. He's speaking in French. And so he talks to the couple and their son, and they are kind of wondering how he knows a lot about Dr. McKenna.
Can I correct you there, babes?
What?
He doesn't know a lot about Dr. McKenna until McKenna starts talking about his own life.
Well, I was going to get there.
Okay,
he starts talking about his own life, and he starts to learn about he is telling Louis this information. And remember that one part where his wife is saying, "Well, what do you think about this? Because they're kind of wondering about this guy and why he was, why the other guy was upset and things like that. And he was explaining about the Muslim culture and, and then so all that is going on. They get to Marrakesh and then they decide that they are going to stay for a few days. And it sounds like Louis Bernard is kind of helping them get settled. The same person that was on the bus with them.
May I interject again?
Yes.
He's not really helping them get settled. It was already predetermined that they were only going to be there for 3 days. He does offer to take them out for dinner once they've spent a little bit of time unwinding in the hotel room.
Yeah. That's before they go to the zoo or the wherever
marketplace.
The marketplace.
Yes.
Okay, so he offers to take them out to dinner, but he says, you know what? I am not going to be able to take you guys out to dinner. But you'll have to go. We'll have to go another time. So they go to dinner. Am I on the right track here?
They go to dinner at the same restaurant they were going to go with Louis.
Yeah, and they meet this British couple, the Draytons. And
maybe we should say at this point, they recognize Doris Day.
Doris Day.
Doris Day. We're going to talk about that when we get her.
She is the singer Joe McKenna.
Yes, and she kind of had some fame. So they approach Doris Day and Jimmy Stewart to say, "Oh, we're such a big fan of your work." And Jimmy Stewart says basically, "Oh, why don't we just share this table?" Mm-hmm. And they see Louis come in. You take it, babes.
No, you can go on.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. And they get a little upset, like he blew us off and was with somebody else. The woman in the couple they met says, "Hey, we're going to go to the market tomorrow. You should come out and bring your little boy and we'll have a great time. It'll be a fun experience." Mm-hmm. So next day, we're in Morocco. Everybody's having fun at this market until Louis comes in. He's being chased. He was stabbed. He sees Dr. McKenna. Mm-hmm. Comes up to him, whispers something in his ear. McKenna writes down the information, sticks it in his pocket, goes off with the police. Mm-hmm. They're interrogating him. While him and Doris Day went off to the police station with the man from the couple,
right?
The lady said, "Okay, I'm going to take your son back to the hotel and watch him."
Yep.
Okay, so during the interrogation, Jimmy Stewart gets a phone call. Comes out, picks up the receiver. Somebody on the other line says, "Hey, if you tell what's going on to the police, I'm going to kill your son." Mm-hmm. Goes back in. Says, "Okay, we're having some problems." He's not being communicative. He gets up. He tells the old guy what's going on. He says, "All right, take Doris Day back to the hotel and I'll meet you there whenever I can." Mm-hmm. Okay, some time goes by. Stewart comes home. And Doris Day is asking about the son. Where is he?
Yep.
Stewart gives her some medication and says, "Okay."
And she says, "He had to drink this," and I never understood this, but I think so. He drugs her.
Yes.
And she is really upset when he finally tells her he's missing. We can't find him. I can't find him. He's missing. Mm-hmm. And he's just like, where's my boy? Where is he? And she's crying hysterically. And then he goes to her again, and she's pretty much drugged up. I don't know why he did this, actually. I don't know if it was just because he wanted her to have a sedative so she wouldn't go crazy. She wouldn't be hysterically crying. But she was. And he says, we have to find him. We have to get him back. We have to figure out where he is. Okay. Back to you.
They go to London because basically what was said to Jimmy Stewart is this famous ambassador is going to be assassinated soon in London. And they have a belief that that's where they need to go. And we should also say that Jimmy Stewart has found out by this time that the older husband is missing too. So he suspects that something's up. They fly to London, and the police call them in for questioning. They basically say, we can help you guys, but you got to share a few things with us. They're unwilling to do it. But they get a card from the detective. Okay, they go back to the hotel in London where they're staying. And Jimmy Stewart is calling to find out about this guy. What's his name? Something about an abbey.
Oh, he's calling about this guy. He thinks there's a guy named Ambrose Chapel.
Yes. And there is, but it's also connected to this chapel. It's a weird subplot.
It's a really weird subplot.
While Stewart is on the phone, Doris Day's old friends stop by.
Yes, they do.
Which plays into the end.
It's really funny.
But we'll get to that one.
We'll get to that,
yeah. Okay. Stewart says, I'm sorry, I gotta leave. My buddy Clarence lost one of his wings, but I'll be back when I can.
Wings. Yeah.
So he leaves. A series of events happens.
They're trying to find each other. They're trying to find this chapel.
Yeah, so he leaves, and then a few hours later, Doris Day just tells her friends to kick it there.
Yeah, just stay there, yeah.
She goes, he comes back, and is told where the real chapel is.
Right.
He goes, they run into each other. They enter the chapel for services.
The group, yeah.
After which time, Doris Day goes outside. Stewart stays back to talk to the priest. He hears his son talking through the walls.
Yep.
But is sort of accosted by these guys.
Yep. And he's with two other women, correct?
The kid is, yeah. He's with the old lady and this other lady playing games with him upstairs.
Right, they're playing checkers, I think.
Something like that. Okay, Doris Day calls the cops. They come. They say that they're going to leave one officer behind, but they got to go to this, big celebration.
Yes, and I'd like to note that the priest gives the hitman these tickets to the celebration, and he also tells them what the cue is going to be before he's supposed to shoot the gun.
Yes, this is already leading up to that night.
Yep.
Okay, so we fast forward. Doris Day is at this huge event, and she's looking for the gunman. Jimmy Stewart eventually comes in. You can't really hear them over the music. Mm-mm. It's just sort of implied what they do. Jimmy Stewart runs upstairs, and he pushes the gunman off, and he falls on the floor. Mm-hmm. They get the ambassador. He's now safe. They run into the police officer who gave them his information, and they tell him what's up. Mm-hmm. The guy pulls him aside and says, okay, your kid's still alive. He's at this embassy, and there are these international laws. So we want to help you, but we can't really get in there. Mm. Jimmy Stewart calls the embassy, requests to speak to the ambassador that was just saved by him and Doris Day. Mm-hmm. She says, I want to come over and sing for you. Yep. Okay, they go over. She starts singing, Que sera, sera.
Whatever will be, will. And meanwhile,
the son is upstairs.
The son is upstairs with Mrs. Drayton.
He starts whistling.
He starts whistling very loud.
Mrs. Drayton is starting to have second thoughts about this.
Yeah, so she tells him to whistle, and I think about this time she's getting quite attached to the little boy.
I think it's more that she knows that her life
but she knows that she's
pretty much over.
Probably be punished for this.
Yes, because they kind of botched the execution.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Jimmy Stewart gets the boy. There's a gunman waiting outside the door who followed Stewart up, I think. Mm-hmm. And they're now walking down the staircase. Jimmy Stewart pushes the gunman. There's a huge commotion. And Doris Day, Jimmy Stewart, and good old Hank escape. They go back to the hotel where they were staying, where Doris Day's friends are now asleep. Mm-hmm. Jimmy Stewart walks in and says, sorry to be so late, but I had to go get good old Hank. And then the movie ends.
We had to get our son Hank.
Yes, we had to get our son Hank. And then the film ends.
And it all happened in one day. It all happened in one day. Isn't that funny?
Yes. I'm sure I butchered some of this, but that's the gist of the movie.
And then what about that one part before before the cymbals are supposed to go off, because it's supposed to be a cue for the guy to shoot. And Doris, you can hear Doris Day screaming.
That's to like shock everybody.
Yeah.
And that's why she got the credit for saving the ambassador, I believe.
Yes. It was a movie of there was drama, excitement, suspense, adventure.
I really enjoyed this film. My favorite Jimmy Stewart Alfred Hitchcock collaboration is still Rear Window.
But this is really good.
Yeah, this film is really, really good.
And what makes it even better is the funny ending.
So the reason I keep calling Doris Day Doras Day is because during the movie I started doing that and Alana started laughing.
I did. It was hilarious, but I'm like, stop it!
So I'm like, all right, Doras is staying outside. Doras is going inside. And you were like, it's Doris, okay? And I said, well, that's the American pronunciation, so I see why you would believe that. But in Germany, they pronounce it Doras.
No, I don't.
For the sake of this conversation, I do believe.
Yeah, okay.
What if, babes? What do you think happens to this couple?
I think they take their boy and they go back to America.
But she mentioned earlier in the film, when things were going all right back in Morocco, that she wanted to have another baby.
Maybe they take the boy home and they find out that she's pregnant with another one.
Is that what you choose to believe?
Yes. I mean, I can only speculate that's what happened with them. They get out of Morocco, head back to America, start a life without people trying to get them and everything, and they're like, this vacation's over. Let's go home now.
Yes.
Yeah, they leave Marrakesh behind.
I thought this was a really good movie. There's a point in the film where they're joking. She says, "Oh, somebody's gallstones paid for this trip along with a couple of burps or whatever."
That was funny.
Yes.
Yes. I thought it was really cute when she was singing with her son. It was cute. And she is known for that song, Que Sera Sera.
That was in an earlier film, I believe. I don't really know her work. I know that she did some MGM musicals back in the day, I believe.
Yeah. I heard that she had like a really hard life, though, and behind the scenes. Because she was known as being somebody that was very modest and, prim and proper and modest and everything. But she had a hard life, from what I understand.
Uh-oh.
From what I gather.
What do you think we can learn from the older couple in this movie?
You can't kidnap somebody's child and get away with it.
But were they professional criminals? It sounds like they were.
It sounds like they were until this happened. Because he was making his living as a hitman.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that she was tired of it, though. Especially when it came to that boy.
So the boy just represents years and years of doing this, and it's just gone on too long.
I think she's tired of it. I really do. Because I think she just had enough. Oh. And maybe this boy helped her see that.
This is the last film that Jimmy Stewart made with Alfred Hitchcock. Alfred Hitchcock made this in 1959, and his last film came out in 1976. I know you haven't studied this, and neither have I. Why do you think this was their last collaboration together? Do you think that there was some falling out, or do you think that the opportunity just never presented itself again?
Maybe it just never presented itself, and it presented itself, and he went on to make... He went on to do other things and make other movies and what have you.
Yes. I enjoyed this. Is there anything else you want to say about the film?
If you get a chance, go see it. It's really good.
You kind of know where I place my Jimmy Stewart, Alfred Hitchcock collaborations.
Yes.
Where would you place this film in that mix?
I don't know. I mean, there's so many good films that we saw with him and Alfred Hitchcock that I can't really rate them because they're all good. Yeah.
Nice.
Rear Window is good.
Yes.
By the way, did Alfred Hitchcock make an appearance in this movie?
He does cameos in every one of his films.
Really?
I did not see his in this one because they're easy to miss.
Okay.
If I had to assume, it would probably be like at the embassy party or in Morocco. By the way, this film I think was probably a lot of fun to shoot.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I was thinking about that when they were at the market in Morocco.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would think so too.
Yes. Jaylo.
Yes.
After watching The Man Who Knew Too Much,
yes,
which is actually a remake of a 1934 film that Alfred Hitchcock directed.
What is that one?
It's also called The Man Who Knew Too Much.
Oh, okay.
Maybe in the future we'll watch that.
Yeah.
To see how he improved upon the original. But in any event, I digress.
You digress.
Yes. Last night, we watched The Birds.
Oh my goodness, this one was creepy. I thought it was creepy.
Tell me. Unless you want me to give a synopsis.
Let me give you the synopsis a little bit about the beginning of the movie, because you saw it before I did.
Back in middle school.
Yep. So Tippi Hedren, who plays Melanie Daniels,
Tippi,
is at this bird shop. She's talking to a woman about, was it lovebirds, I think it was? Or birds?
Just birds in general.
Birds in general. This guy walks in. We don't know who he is yet, but he walks in, and she pretends that she knows that she works at that bird shop because he's asking about lovebirds. And he realizes, wait a minute, I've seen you before. You're a lawyer.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, go on.
He saw her enter the bird store, and he recognized her from court. He was a lawyer.
I'm sorry. He was a lawyer, but he recognized her from court.
Basically, do you want me to take over?
Yes,
do you want to
go ahead.
Okay. She's this rich girl whose father owns a newspaper, never really had to grow up, so she spends her time on frivolous pranks.
Mm-hmm.
He gives a little speech, takes off in his car. She writes the number down and has somebody at the paper get his identity.
Mm-hmm.
Since he was asking about lovebirds, she buys a couple. Tippi goes to his door. The neighbor informs her that he went up for the weekend to, I'm forgetting the name of the place, something Bay.
Bodega Bay.
Bodega Bay.
And so she ends up going there.
Tippi drives there. And she wants to surprise him.
Yep.
So while she could drive her car to where he's staying with his mom and younger sister, she decides to rent a boat.
Yeah, because they told her that you can rent a boat just to go there. And this is because she doesn't want anyone to know that she's stopping by.
Yes. Let me touch your leg for a second. And she gets on the boat and she drives
Stop it.
Oh, did that tickle?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know.
I did not want you to do that.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know. Anyways, she drives the boat, goes inside the house, puts the love birds by this recliner, leaves.
Oh, by the way, the door is not locked.
Did I just say it was locked?
No, you didn't say it. I just wanted to note that it was not locked.
It's not like she threw a rock through it or
right.
keyed it or anything.
She just walked right in because it was open.
When she's on her way back, a bird kind of like attacks her head. Which is a sign of things to come.
And it's a gull.
Yes.
And it gives her a really nasty nasty bite.
Okay, so she returns the book, the boat rather.
Yeah, she's bleeding.
What's Homeboy's name in the movie?
Mitch.
Mitch comes over and he's like, "Oh,
you're bleeding.
You're bleeding. Thank you for you left some lovebirds." And she's like, "Yeah, those are for what's your name's party."
Kathy.
Yeah,
Kathy's birthday.
Kathy.
That's his sister.
Yes.
Much younger sister, by the way.
Much younger sister. He's like 49. She's like 12.
Yeah.
Anyways. The mom comes over and there's some talk, and the mom eventually invites Tippi Hedren over to dinner. Tippy lies and says that she's staying with
the teacher, Annie Hayworth.
Annie.
She doesn't know this lady. She found out where she lives, and she doesn't know this lady. She's just saying that she's going to stay.
But Annie has a room for rent.
Right.
Presumably she doesn't want to just rent it for one night, but she'll take what she can get. She's a dying woman.
Dying woman?
Well, was she alive at the end of the movie?
No, but we're going to get there.
She's a dying woman.
Okay, be quiet.
Okay.
Go on.
Tippy.
Tippy.
I love that name. Tippy.
Tippy Hedren. Yeah.
Goes over for dinner. The little girl, Kathy, really likes her present and wants Tippy to go to her birthday party.
Yep, because she's thinking, oh, I got to go back to San Francisco tonight.
Yeah.
I don't want to stay longer than I should.
But she's kind of playing the piano and chilling out.
Yep, and she's a good piano player.
And then she's like, I guess I got to go to this kid's thing.
Yeah, And so she goes back to Annie's, and Annie's like, do you want to go? Do you want to go to this? She's like, well, and she's thinking, well, I don't know. I guess I should go back to San Francisco. I was like, no, but do you really want to go to this party? And she's like, yes, I want to go because she's becoming attached to Kathy. And she wants to make that little girl happy.
Next day.
Oh,
we should also say that Annie gave Tippy some insight into the mom.
Yes, and that she used to date Mitch.
Yes.
And for some reason, the mom didn't like her.
But the mom doesn't really like anybody who's dating her son.
Because she doesn't want to be alone.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Next day, we're at the party. Everybody's just chilling like a villain, having a good time, playing some Snoop Dogg.
No, they weren't playing Snoop Dogg. This is back in 1962.
Snoop Dogg. Sorry. They were not playing Snoop.
You're going off track.
Sorry, babes. Tons of birds fly in and start attacking everybody.
They start attacking the kids.
Yep. They get into the house. We fast forward to later that night. Mitch, Tippy, the mom, and Kathy are just sort of hanging out, talking about the day when the birds fly in through the chimney and start rushing through their house. It's so bad that Mitch calls the cops, who explain, hey, this is just a bizarre thing.
And they think it's happening just to them.
Yes. Okay. The next morning, Mitch's mom decides to pay a visit to a friend's. She goes upstairs and finds out that he's been murdered by these birds.
And just for context, this guy was a shop owner who Tippy runs into in the beginning of the show.
Yeah, I believe so.
When she gets to Bodega Bay, because she's trying to find the Brenners.
I think... Is this where Tippy goes to the school to see Kathy?
Yes. Yes, she does.
I think I'm missing something, but...
This is before that.
Oh, this was right before that. Okay.
Yeah, this is before, because she goes to look for that man, and he's been murdered by the birds.
Okay.
Like he must have looked really bad.
Yeah. So she goes to the school, and before she can really go in there, she notices these birds. She tells Anne what's going on. They decide, okay, kids, we're going to file out of here very calmly. Mm-hmm. Those of you who live close by, go to your house very slowly, and the rest of you, we're going to walk down to this church. When they're leaving, the birds start to attack. Kids start to freak out.
Oh, yeah.
One of Kathy's friends falls and breaks her glasses.
Yep.
Kathy and Tippy pick her up, place her into Tippy's car, and just are sort of waiting there.
Yep.
I know I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but you were distracting me during the movie with some gas.
I did not.
Oh. We go to this bar now where Tippy's hanging out and everybody's talking about the birds. And I thought this was a really cool scene.
I thought it was a really funny scene because the woman was saying, I know about birds and it is impossible. Birds don't hurt humans. And this guy is like, it's the end of the world. And he's quoting scriptures. And this other guy is like, and he's clearly really drunk.
Yeah. The birds knock over this, gas thing at the gas station. I don't know what they call it.
The gas pump?
The gas pump.
Yeah.
And a guy comes out of his car with a cigarette, and they're like, "Don't throw it on the ground." Everybody's screaming at it, but he does it anyway, and it starts this fire. Mm-hmm. We eventually...
And he dies, right?
Yes. We eventually see that Annie is dead, and Kathy is hiding out in her house.
Yep. And some of the people from the bar are dead, too.
Yes. What's the dude's name again?
Who?
The lovin' Mitch.
Mitch
and Tippy get her. They go back to the house. Everybody's shocked and doesn't really know what to do. So Mitch is boarding up the place.
Yep.
Getting ready for the bird attack. Then it's quiet for a while.
Yep.
Everybody's just waiting. Then the birds start to poke through the window, but Mitch kind of stops them.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Yep.
And it gets quiet again. We get a sense that many hours have gone by. Tippy tiptoes up the stairs like I'm doing with your feet right now.
Stop it.
Sorry. So he opens the door. I'm giving an explanation.
Yes.
Things are calm in the door, and then she looks and sees that the attic is been broken into.
Yep, there's a big hole in the ceiling.
And all these birds start flying in and attacking her.
Oh my goodness. And they're on her, they're biting, and
Mitch eventually rescues her, but realizes that she needs to be taken back to San Francisco for real medical care.
And I think she tells Mitch to get the lovebirds, because the lovebirds...
No.
Oh, no? I'm sorry.
So you're close, but
I'm close.
Here's what happens. He goes outside to see how walkable it is to the car.
Yeah.
Once he's in the car, he turns on the radio and hears that, people are really scared of these birds and the military might be called in. Mm-hmm. We don't know what's going on. Eventually transports Tippy to the car. The mom is sitting next to her, and Kathy says to Mitch, can I bring my lovebirds? I know they're birds, but they haven't been harmful so far. They've been really chill. Yet. And he says, okay. The four of them are in the car. Mitch starts it up. They leave, and the movie ends.
Yep.
I think I butchered that, but that's the basic gist of the movie.
That's okay. I thought that movie was really good, but very creepy.
Yes.
Very creepy.
Would you recommend it to people?
I would, but don't see it if you have a phobia of birds.
Would you recommend it to family members of yours?
Possibly. It is kind of scary. I mean, if you I don't know. If somebody was afraid of birds and they watched this movie, they would be even more afraid of them.
Where would you put this film in Alfred Hitchcock's filmography, from good to bad? Is it one of his best, one of his worst, somewhere in the middle?
Somewhere in the middle, because it isn't my favorite movie.
What do you think? Well, maybe I should rephrase the question. When we watch Notorious, mm-hmm. near the end of the movie, there's a pivotal scene where Cary Grant is carrying Ingrid Bergman down the staircase.
Right.
With her then husband.
Uh-huh.
Okay. In The Man Who Knew Too Much, mm-hmm. there's a scene where Jimmy Stewart and his son are going down the staircase with the gunman.
Yep.
In this movie, near the end, there's a scene that's kind of pivotal where Tippi Hedren goes up the staircase.
Right.
Rear Window, there's like height stuff in there because he's in an apartment and it's high up.
Yep.
In Rope, they're in an apartment that's high up.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think Alfred Hitchcock, and also in Vertigo, there's a lot of stuff to do with heights.
Yes.
What does Hitchcock teach us about heights?
It seems like Hitchcock kind of makes movies based on some people's fears, whether it's animals, heights, like in Vertigo, right?
Yep.
Remember when that girl falls off of the balcony?
She's pushed out.
She's pushed off of the balcony, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he deals a lot with people's fears. It seems like, and that heights is a legitimate fear for some people.
Do you think that staircases hold a special significance to him?
Some people have died falling downstairs, yes.
But you don't think that he has some obsession with staircase. You just think that he uses them as a plot device.
I think he uses them as a plot device, not necessarily that he has anything, I don't know, having to do with staircases.
At one point in The Birds, somebody says to Tippi Hedren, we weren't getting these attacks before you came here. You brought these upon us.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any truth to that?
Of course not. She wouldn't have known. And it isn't because it isn't even because she has played pranks on people. I think her pranks are harmless, actually.
Some might call pranks devilish. These attacks start when Tippi Hedren comes over.
Yeah.
Because of her, they're forced to flee their house into the unknown where they could get hurt. Is it possible that Tippi Hedren represents the devil in this movie?
No.
Okay.
No. I honestly don't think she has anything to do with the birds coming.
That was just a theory that I thought I'd float out there.
No,
one that I was making up as I said it.
Okay. No, I don't think she is the devil incarnate.
Does this movie make you wish that you had a baby at 14 and another one at like 54, like Mitch's mom did?
No. What kind of question is that?
I don't know, because this is the part of the movie
old, though.
I found very unbelievable.
He was super old. Like, yes. He could not have been her brother.
No.
He had to have, if they're going to have a guy, an older guy play her brother, he could have at least been like 8 years older.
Yeah, this guy was like 40.
He was like he seemed super old and he seemed like he was closer to his mother's age.
That's the way I felt.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And why is he calling her darling?
That's kind of weird.
Well, I guess he also called her Tippi Hedren darling. That's weird.
But does that explain why the mother is so close to the son? In the sense that she probably did have him as a teenager. And 1962 is not that separated from the Depression. So he could have been a Depression baby.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she lost another child in childbirth. Does his age explain their closeness?
Not necessarily. I don't know. They are close, though, but I don't know if it has anything to do with his age.
What do you think happens to these characters? Do they make it out alive? Do they die from the birds?
It's possible that as much as I hope it doesn't happen, it's possible that she does die. Or maybe she lives and she ends up with Mitch. And him and her name is Melanie Daniels, by the way.
Yes. Him
and Melanie and Lydia, his mother, and Kathy, her daughter, the sister, live in a house together. So I don't know. It could have happened that way.
Yes. This is a good movie, babes.
It is.
Is there anything else you want to say about it?
It's kind of creepy.
That seems to be your takeaway.
It is, yeah. I do not like the idea of a lot of birds flying into holes in the ceilings. Flying through holes in the ceilings just to get to my eyes.
Are you satisfied with the way it ended?
I would have liked to have known more, but I am satisfied with how it ended.
See, I think if they remade this film today, they'd ended with her getting to the hospital and getting the help that she needed.
Yeah. And
Alfred Hitchcock challenges the audience to be happy without that ending.
Yes. Absolutely.
Which I think is a good thing.
I do too.
Does watching his films make you want to watch Alfred Hitchcock's interviews on YouTube?
Possibly. Yep, possibly.
Nice. Well, very good, babes.
We
will revisit his work, hopefully at a later time.
Yep.
Yes. But next week in Jaylo.
Yes.
Which starts on Wednesday, because it will be birthday boy.
Your birthday boy.
We have talked about starting the weekend off with Edward Scissorhands
Oh, I love that movie.
and The Big Lebowski, which you have not seen.
When was the last time you saw Edward Scissorhands?
In the theater when it first came out.
Oh, that's a long time ago.
That's like 91, I
Oh
think.
my goodness, that is a long time
So
ago.
I've forgotten a lot about it.
I love that movie. That is a fun movie.
I remember really enjoying it. No, I may have seen it on home video once.
Oh.
But it was like 92 or something.
Oh, no, we got to watch it. It's really, I love that movie. I haven't seen it in so long.
Yes. What are we thinking about Thursday night?
I haven't thought about that.
I think it might be kind of interesting to watch Dead Presidents, because you've never seen that, right?
No, but is it a good movie?
It's a good movie. It's about this... I don't want to give too much away, but I really enjoyed it. But we'll have plenty of time to discuss that in the future. Yes. Jaylo, we got up early this morning. And if I remember correctly, I don't think you had any dreams.
I did not.
But you snored, according to you, but I did not hear because I was
I did, but it only happened once as far as I knew.
Oh.
But I was exhausted last night, so yeah.
Gosh, babe boys. Do you have anything else you want to discuss?
No. I'll just say this. I made us some smoothies. Had a little bit of a mess, but made sure everything was cleaned up. But it all went good, and I am going to be making more smoothies in the future. And you gave me an idea for storing them in mason jars, right?
Because that's what I'm thinking about doing. I have a lot of them at home, but the mason jars I have are a little bit too big to put in the freezer. So I think once we get into the new year, I'm going to start making smoothies on Sunday night when I get home from here. And just put them in the freezer, take them out, take one out, and put it in the fridge the night before and start my day off with a good, healthy vegetable smoothie.
Right.
Like, kale and avocado or something.
Yes.
Beets. Carrots.
Beets.
Beetles.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to do, and I hope you take me up and do the same thing, babes.
No, maybe.
Yes. Yes, babe boys.
Yes.
Is there anything else you wanted to discuss?
Not at the moment.
Okay. So I have not kissed anybody before.
Yes, you have.
I think it would be appropriate if I had my first kiss with you right now.
You have before.
Have I?
Yes, you have many times.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
I can even tell you the day. But I'm not going to discuss it here.
You want me to tell some stories here?
No.
Oh.
Some stories.
I have kissed people before, but I don't
Yes, you have.
Without any jokes, please.
Stop it!
Babe,
Gotcha.
I love you.
Yes, I love you too.
Are we going to go and make that race now?
I am going to rest for just a little bit.
How long?
Maybe 30 minutes.
Really?
Why?
And leave me to my own devices?
No, you...
Well, here's my thought, though, babes. If we make the rice now, then I can get out of your hair.
I understand that.
But you want to take a rest with me?
Just a little bit.
All right, guys, we're going to have some bedroom fun.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
All right. Unless there's anything else you want to say, babes.
Happy end of the weekend.
Happy end of the weekend.
And we'll catch you later.
Bye-bye.
Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.